So it's a bit of a ringer because that A4 ABW was actually off a Mercedes van. I've already checked that out, because sometimes you can get these things road legal. Funny enough, I have got one road legal with a V5. We've got a broken headlight, but we know they're all knackered anyway. Inside, it's atrocious. I mean, just look at that driver's site. That is just electrolytic reaction between steel and aluminium. It's melted. It has melted. It's been deactivated. Could I make it aesthetically beautiful? Yes, I could. Could I get it running? Yeah, maybe. Get most things running. But it's a big job. Do I want that job? I've already got 9 chieftains. I think the thing we do with this is we needle gun it, paint it, make it look beautiful, preserve it, and then probably stick it somewhere looking nice. Then in a few years' time, when I've got through all this Ukraine stuff and we've got a bit more time, and then we have the turret off, do all the Doughty cables from front to rear, and get everything nice, and then get the engine out and start a motor and all that kind of stuff. Maybe need a new engine, because it looks to me like it's seized at the moment, and get the old girl going. One day, they'll be rare. They're getting a bit rare, but they ain't that rare, because I've got 10 or 9, I can't remember. I'm a crap counter. But I've got them laying in the field like this, and why I'm looking at this one when I could go and just get one of them going, I suppose. But because I suppose I'm a collector. And once it's in you, it's in you. You can't help it. Well, it's a little bit sad inside. It's kind of all there, but it's a little bit sad. The dials might need a little bit of a clean up. 160 miles. Not bad for a chieftain. And some of the switches are working, some aren't. The main power switch down there, that's seized. Engine seized, clutches seized. Apparently it had a problem with its gearbox. Well, that'll be selecting more than one gear at a time. That's to be expected. Brakes are seized, accelerator's seized, everything's seized. And it's got quite a lot of water laying in the back. And the charge bins, funny enough, are full of water. It's dripped in gradually and they're sealed. It needs saving. It's a shame to leave it. Yeah, big shame to leave it. If someone had come round it every couple of years with a grease gun and a bit of oil, it'd be a nice tank. But yes, looking a bit knick-knacked. The question is, what do you give for an old shitter like this? Potentially, it could be lovely, but hours and hours of work. And the amount of corrosion inside the turret on the electrical cables and the connections, I can't see anything in the turret ever working again. It's all there, but just get my arm in. It's all there, but the problem is it's just corroded. When you get aluminium and steel, it kind of happens like this thing behind me. That used to be a driver's periscope, but it's just eating itself, basically, just dissolved. Like, you know, you get those things called for refreshers, a fizzy sweet. Well, if you drop that in water, it fizzes, and that's fizzed, and it's bollocksed. A challenge, but I've got enough challenges in my life. Yeah, tough one, isn't it? Do we want it? Do we want the trouble? Do I want the ag? I don't want it sitting though. It's a bloody shame if it just rots away forever. I think make it beautiful, use it for an ornament, attack it at a later date. That's my thought. Yeah, the seat's a little bit gobby too. I'm not quite sure what's living in there, but it's probably now living on my arse, which is not nice. Not a nice thought. Paintwork in general is horrendous, but nothing a good needle glubbing couldn't do. Now, it's got some of its periscopes in. It's got its commander's periscope and its cupola periscopes. It's missing its searchlight, which is a shame, because I've got 1,000 Chieftain searchlight bulbs, and apparently they're about £2,000 a piece. If I can get 50 quid a piece, I'd be playing hopscotch with the fairies. It would be lovely. And they use them in cinemas, believe it or not. Very, very bright, arc, kind of tungsten thing. I'll show you around the inside. There you go. It's all there. I don't know if any of you are particularly familiar with the insides of a Chieftain tank, but yeah, it's pretty complete. But unfortunately, especially on the right-hand side, where the commander and the gunner sit, it has got a little bit furry on a lot of those electrical connections, and that is a shame because, you know, you never get the wire. To put the loom in, you'd have to strip the whole turret, and bloody hell, you don't really want to get into doing that, do you? Yeah, a lot of corrosion at the back of the turret. Oh, there's a spanner. Look at that, look. It's got a spanner. Yeah, that kind of sums it up, that spanner. Yes, do you know what? I might give that to Ashley for Christmas. Yes, it's all there. Has been deactivated. Not properly, but it has been deactivated. Spot the fault. Anyone know the fault? Oh, nobody will know the fault. I will though. And some of the charge bins are completely full of water. I can't wait to have a look at the ones at the front, see if there's anything hidden in there from naughty soldiers that have stolen stuff and stuck it up the front charge bins, knowing no one can get to it without revolving the turret. And they don't tend to do that at customs when they're bringing them back from abroad. Yeah, it's a beauty, but oh yes, turret seized, upwards and traverse. But, you know, I've done that before and all. There's a big gear down there, you can drop it out and you put another vehicle on the barrel and you pull it round and round with loads of grease and oil. And in the end it gets smooth. Then you put it all back together again. How hard is that? I did it on a Doctor Who set when I was bored once. Well, Craig showed me around his chieftain and he's got a small chubby lad who drives it from time to time. What's your son called?
Oh, that's Mitch.
That's Mitch. What's your son called?
Thomas.
Thomas? Your dad's let me have a look in his tank. We found a little white man in there. Maybe your dad will want to come tank driving when you're a bit older and you can have a go in this when it's bombing around the fields. That's what we do. We fix things up. This won't be an easy fix. And you know what? The green and red has kind of taken to me. I might keep it in green and red like a tractor or like my lawnmower. Want to lift, darling?
No.
Oh, who's that?
Well, you're driving.
Who's that?
Little man.
Hello, Curly. How you doing?
Say hi, Daddy.
You should have been chieftain buying with me today. No, he's off. He's off. He's off. You don't see a lot of these anymore. This is a track rapier. And these were, oh, I don't know, when were they released? 25 years ago they let them all go. And they were very, very expensive vehicles. Very, very expensive. And then they sort of all disappeared. And the funny thing is, they haven't gone to America. Now this is all very complete, but we took these panels off the back so we could see a bit more inside where the engine was. Now all it needs to make it complete is smoke discharges on the rear, just there, and I'd love to get hold of a pair of them, and smoke discharges on the front. And then we'd be cooking with gas. And it'd be nice to get some rockets for it. I have got one rocket, but I could have it copied, I suppose. Yes. And inside, oh, you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. Look at this from Splendiferous. I've got the cover for the engine, but look at that dashboard. Apparently, when you aimed a missile, you clicked a little button and a light comes on everywhere you didn't want it to go. How about that? And then that pod, that goes up out the top, and that's your sighting pod. And then these things up here are all clever stuff. All clever stuff. Yes, I've driven these quite a lot, and visibility was non-existent really, which is very exciting when you're driving, because that's the combat screen, and it's just sort of lines of armoured glass. They do another screen that's a bit bigger. Well, it's just a panel of glass. It's armoured still, but not quite so tough. Yes, very cool.